We really pushed forward even the most fundamental aspects of what makes a Call of Duty game with Modern Warfare 2, and it's been really amazing for me to come on board this past year and see these innovations coming to life, to hear Jeff jump into, breaking down the 1v1. And personally for me, water. Our water, I've seen the memes, we love water. It's really hard to make in games. But the aquatic combat, some of the things you're able to do with vehicles in the water, I think that level of immersion is really going to speak to fans and has been something that I've really enjoyed playing the last couple months.
Aquatic combat. Steph loves to swim. Joe,
Sure do.
can we go into some details about our water-based adventures in MW2?
Yeah, I mean, last game we really wanted to add water, and we knew we didn't have time, right? So in Verdansk, we froze the rivers and we made the outskirts just to kill trigger. In this game, as soon as we started Modern Warfare 2, we leaned into water, both visually, beautiful caustics, there's waves with white caps, but we also, the gameplay side, there's unique ballistics underwater. You only can use certain weapons underwater. Your pistol is your weapon underwater, otherwise you can't use your primary weapons. But it's also a nice cover or evasion mechanic. If you're getting shot at, you can dive into the water, and as you get deeper, it gets murkier. Like the farther you are from something, you can't see it. And so it's been super fun for us to dig into water and really flex on what water could be in Call of Duty. And you saw the boats and the mine that floats, and every piece of equipment has been
I love it.
filtered. Like, how does it work through water? Like, we had to look at everything in the game and say, how does it work in water? What's the best version?
Our vehicles will just slowly submerge.
Yeah.
They really would, instead of blinking out.
Yeah, everything.
A lot of details.
The behaviors are awesome.
Oh my God! Well, I can't quite wait to literally, dip my toes into those waters. But guys, let's not forget about the ground and the air. What else is going to be coming to the movement system, Joe? What do we got?
Well, last game we did mount, and we had slide, and even though we're a military shooter, fluid movement is super important to us. So this game, as you saw in the trailer, you can see here on the video, we have a new ledge hang mechanic, and that's essentially a high mantle. But instead of doing a high mantle and throwing yourself up over into combat, you can now peek. If you have a pistol, you can pull that pistol out and use that. We also added a dive. Last game we had the slide that kept your gun up, but we really wanted players to have an option where if they're getting shot at, they don't know where they're getting shot at, they can get down, get out of fire. But the other really cool thing is the dive is just high enough to let you get through a window. And so if you throw a grenade up into a building's second story, often you'll see players, like rats leaving a ship, diving out through the windows. And it's just another option for players in combat.
Yeah, and all of these dynamic movements mean you can interact with vehicles specifically in a very cool way. I'm going to save some of that gas for when we get to Warzone 2.0, but it's really exciting.
All right, vehicle details to come. But now, guys, let's talk about equipment. Obviously, Call of Duty, crazy sandbox, a lot of cool toys to play with. Joe, what are some of the new dynamite new items that we're going to be throwing at each other and equipping and using in all sorts in the next game?
I mean, you saw some cool stuff in the trailer. You saw the drill charge, you saw the shock stick. One of the other cool ones you saw is the inflatable decoy. And this is a mine that you can throw out, and it basically sits there, and if a player gets close to it, it auto-deploys and basically inflates like a car airbag going off. And it faces the person that triggered it, and so it's a great distraction technique. You can also fire it off with a clacker if you want to control when it goes off. You can throw it in water, and here you just saw the DDoS. We added all this equipment into this game, and the DDoS is our kind of answer of like, hey, I'm going to breach this building. I want to go clean house, but I don't want to deal with all this shit inside. So I'm going to hit the DDoS. Boom! It's going to shut down everything, and I can move in, and clear that room. You saw the heartbeat sensor is back. It's got a new look, but it also has a battery as a balancing mechanic, so you can't use it indefinitely in Warzone. And there's so
This is
much
the TAC
more.
cam too, which you guys just saw, which to me is my personal favorite.
You can put out a lot of them, and even you can patch into your teammates. So it gets a little crazy.
Yeah, kind of like a sticky GoPro, but will actually mark your enemies for your team.
Yeah.
So I expect to see a lot of fun moments with that today.
So many toys and new tools that we just want players to get in and play with. I think there's something like 13 field upgrades, between Warzone and Core MP, and it's pretty awesome.
Oh my God.